There's a power few dare to claim. It doesn't come from dominance, or persuasion, or charisma. It comes from walking away, not in anger, not in retreat, but in clarity. In a world obsessed with holding on, to jobs, to people, to identities, the decision to walk away feels like failure. But often, it's the beginning of power. Because walking away isn't giving up. It's knowing when something no longer deserves your energy. Steve Jobs once said, "Focusing is about saying no." When he returned to Apple, he slashed the company's product line from dozens to 4. He walked away from distractions, and in doing so, he saved the company. He wasn't paralyzed by loyalty to what once worked. He had the courage to leave it behind. We celebrate resilience, we glorify grit, but we forget that discernment, knowing when to let go, is just as vital. Consider the story of Siddhartha Gautama, a prince who had everything: wealth, comfort, privilege. And yet he walked away, not because he was weak, but because he sought something higher. That walk, out of the palace gates, changed the course of human history. The man who became the Buddha didn't conquer kingdoms. He conquered the self. Walking away isn't cowardice. Sometimes it's the greatest act of self-respect. In the 20th century, a young lawyer named Mohandas Gandhi left a successful career in South Africa. He returned to India, not for comfort, but for conviction. He walked away from success, from legal prestige, from empire. And in doing so, built a revolution. Real power doesn't always announce itself. It often looks like refusal. Refusal to beg, refusal to chase, refusal to compromise your worth. Author James Baldwin once said, "You have to go the way your blood beats." That means sometimes leaving the room, the role, the relationship, not because you're bitter, but because you're awake. The Dunning-Kruger effect tells us that those who know the least often cling the hardest, clinging to jobs they've outgrown, to arguments they've already lost, to versions of themselves that no longer serve them. But those with wisdom, they walk, because they understand that freedom isn't found in holding tighter. It's in knowing when to release. Even nature teaches us this. A tree lets go of its leaves in winter, not in despair, but in preparation. In letting go, it conserves strength for what comes next. This isn't a call to give up at the first sign of discomfort. Perseverance matters, but so does knowing when the battle isn't yours anymore. Sometimes, walking away is the most strategic move you can make, in negotiations, in love, in life. Why? Because when you walk away, on your own terms, you shift the balance. Suddenly, you're not the one chasing, you're the one choosing. The Stoics understood this deeply. Epictetus taught that peace begins the moment we stop worrying about what we cannot control. Sometimes, the most powerful thing you can do is not fight harder, but step back. We're taught to associate presence with importance, that staying means caring, that leaving means quitting. But the truth is, some doors must close for better ones to open, and some people only respect your worth after you stop explaining it. So the next time you hesitate, holding on to a role, a habit, a situation that drains you, ask yourself, is staying an act of strength or fear? Because walking away is not just about leaving. It's about walking toward something else, toward your boundaries, toward your potential, toward your peace. Not every goodbye is a failure. Sometimes it's the beginning of a better story. So walk, not because you have nothing left, but because you finally know what you're worth. Thanks for watching. If this message resonated with you, like, share, and subscribe. This channel brings timeless wisdom from history, philosophy, and strategy to help you think deeper, live smarter, and lead with purpose. And remember, sometimes the most powerful move is walking away.